Are you preparing for a Kubernetes exam? These can be pretty tough, and one of the challenges is the time limit. 2 hours seems like a lot, but when you are working to around 17 questions, it is over before you know it. Don't waste time struggling with the Kubernetes CLI commands. In this video, I'll share some powerful kubectl tips that will save you time and help you ace the exam. Let's dive in. The first tip is using an alias for commands. You might already use K instead of kubectl to save you from making a typo. But did you know you can extend your bash or C file with all the aliases as well, even during the exam? These are the ones that I use. Source kubectl completion bash. This allows you to get an auto-completion on the terminal. This can save you time by using tab to complete a command, or even list the possible options for when you forget what the correct command was again. Export dry equals -- dry run equals client -o equals YAML. Dry run is something you add at the end of a command to create a YAML file for that command, which you then can edit later on. This is something you will use a lot, and instead of typing it all the time, you just type it once into your bash or C, and then use $dry to add it into your current command. Alias kd equals kubectl delete -f. Some resources, such as pods, support graceful deletion. Because of this, deletion may not be acknowledged immediately. If the node hosting a pod is down or cannot reach the API server, termination may take a lot longer. To force delete a resource, you can use the -- force. Only use this when you know you made a mistake while creating the pod. The second tip is using kubectl describe. Use kubectl describe for quick debugging. It's great for troubleshooting pods, services, or other resources without needing the YAML details. Using the dry run output command will give you the config that's used to create the resource, but it won't tell you anything about the status of that resource. Using kubectl describe gives you insight into the events such as recent errors, warnings, or state changes. Also, it looks at conditions, the current state of a resource, for example the readiness or the health checks. This also gives you more insight in the reason why a container is failing or why a pod is still pending. Kubectl describe does give you a lot of output. To make it faster to search it, you can combine it with grep to quickly find the image name and the ID in this example. The last tips are specific to the Kubernetes exam environment. During the exam, you work on different clusters with 2 to 3 namespaces each. Every question starts with a command to switch to that specific context. Make sure you switch to that correct context by copying the name of that context from the question. You don't want to make a typo here and mess up the whole question. You can use these commands: kubectl config, use context, and then the context name. If you are working on the question and you forget which context is active, you can use kubectl config get context to see which context is currently active. When there's only one namespace in a context, you can use -- namespace and then the namespace name in the use context command to set a namespace for that context. So you then have to write -n after every command. The last tip for the exam is to always save the YAML before editing it. There is no way to reset a question back to the base state. So if you change something in the default YAML files that are in the namespace and you forget what you changed, there is no way to get that base state back. So always make a copy of a resource or a YAML file before you edit it. Use a name such as question number _ description.yaml so that you can quickly find your way back in all the files. That's it for this quick guide on CLI tips for the Kubernetes exam. I hope you found these insights helpful and that they help you save time during your exam. If you know of some other tips, let me know in the comments, as I will be doing my exam soon. Thanks for watching and good luck with your certification journey. See you in the next one.